for people who are working in environments where it is fast and furious and they're having to find spaces in their day to connect, is there something else that you could recommend that would be useful for them to know? So, at a productive time of day or an unproductive time of day as an example of that.
Yeah, so with breath work, I mean, I've talked about down regulating breaths so far. So these are the calming breaths. And I think this is probably what most people expect breath work to be, is just calming, relaxing. But you can use breath work to activate yourself, and we do purposely use it for that reason. So day to day, if you're in the office, you might want to do something like a breath of fire or a
Oh, I like the sound of this one. Okay, so
yeah,
tell us about the breath of fire.
yeah. So this one, we're actually pumping our diaphragm. So you're not going to mind how much you've had to eat at lunch if you're doing this. But basically, we forcefully breathe out with the diaphragm, pushing the breath out through the nose and then just letting the inhale naturally refill. So it's quite a strong pulse. So you might just go pulse, 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 pulse like that. You might do 10 breaths, 30 breaths and have a little rest and maybe do it again. It's probably all you'd want to do in the office. But essentially, that just helps bring that energy into the body. So breath is energy. We have the words of chi, prana, these are all the words we use for energy. So by enhancing the breath in this way, it pumps it around the body a lot faster, gets it around the brain a little bit quicker, causes some activation because we don't normally breathe like this, so it gets the attention of the body. So if we're supposed to normally breathe in and out through our nose, quite calm, we suddenly start breathing quite quickly out of our nose. It's going to be like, what's going on? There's been a change. We need to pay attention. So it just brings the brain back on board. So if you are in that slump, it can be really good. Other people have told me as well when I've, 'cause I taught it as a wake up breath. Some people have told me it's great for getting anger out. So this is what feedback I've had. So they said it's great for if they're feeling angry. It can be a way to discharge the energy. Because again, sometimes, you've probably heard this yourself, if you're quite het off and someone tells you to calm down, it's probably the last thing you want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. When in the history has anyone ever actually calmed down when someone says calm
Yeah,
down?
and sometimes you probably should, if you're gonna say that, step aside because there might be a fist coming your way if doing that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but actually, when we want to calm down from a really heightened state, actually using something activating, it's like a little step down. So rather than trying to go from, it's a bit like driving on the motorway at 100 miles an hour, trying to go from, 100 to 0, that's like an emergency stop, and you know how jarring that is. So actually having these staged little breaks, so actually starting the breath of fire, then maybe that physiological side that I said, maybe some movement, a bit of bobbing up and down, a bit of shaking the arms, and then eventually you might be able to find your way into the coherence breath. But I would say it's a bit of a staged approach rather than expect, if you are really up there on the ceiling, I wouldn't expect anybody to go straight into something relaxing like that.